Apologies about that. That sucked. Literally, I've had no issues with my internet for the last however long since I've been home. And then as soon as I decide, hey, I'm going to do a YouNow because I've not done a YouNow in ages, all of a sudden, nope, my internet decides to cut out. So I'm back. Really sorry about that. That was rubbish. Hated that. So, as I was saying, someone asked me, am I going to be going to London VidCon? And I said no, probably not. Because I think I'm a little bit done with YouTube conventions. Because my last SITSI, Summer in the City experience was interesting. So basically, what I was saying is that full-time YouTubers constantly think about YouTube because it's their full-time job. It's their full-time job and it's their livelihood, it's their income. They kind of have to think about it in the same way that I think about acting all the time. I'm constantly thinking about what my next job is, what I can audition for. I'm always downloading musical soundtracks to listen to, you know what I mean? Like, that's my thing, that's my life, that's my job and my livelihood. So, full-time YouTubers, that's their job and that's what they think about all the time. So they're always thinking about what the title of their next video is going to be and what the thumbnail is going to look like and whether the thumbnail and the title are, thank you very much, Tiny Chasing Fireflies, good username. They're constantly thinking about whether their thumbnail and their title are going to get the most amount of people to click on it. They play the YouTube game, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And they kind of not have to go to YouTube conventions, but it's a YouTube convention. You know what I mean? Like in the same way that I go and see shows when I'm not in shows. That's my interest, and it's always good to be clued up on what's in the what's going on in the industry. So it's the same no matter what industry you're in. But because I'm not a full-time YouTuber, I don't have that same desire to throw myself into YouTube in the same way that full-time YouTubers do. I don't feel that same kind of obligation to go to conventions because when I'm, like when I go to work, we have Stage Door, which is essentially like a YouTube convention every night, but for theatre. And my book tours as well. Like in my last book tour, I was meeting 400 people a day. So, I have other ways to meet people and interact with the people who watch my videos and read my books and that kind of thing. But the reason I found this last Summer in the City so weird is because I expected to walk into the room and see all the people that I know. I expected to see, I'm trying to think of names now. I expected to see like Hannah Witten and Lucy Moon and Dodie and Luke Cutforth and Tom Burns and Jamie Joe and Liam Dryden and, all of the familiar faces that I associate with the YouTube that I know. And I walked into the green room upstairs when I first arrived and I literally knew no one. Like all the people that I just listed were there, but I didn't really see them at all. And I literally walked into the room and I was like, okay, I know no one in this room and everyone is 12. Like, I honestly was like, I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place. I literally walked in and I'll be honest, I went, I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this. This is a lot. This is a lot that's going on right now. And I was like, I am on my own. I've come on my own. And I don't know what to do in this situation. Because I was like, do I just hover near the sandwiches and the tea until someone comes and gets me for my meet and greet? Or what do I do in this situation? And I was like, because it felt like school again. It felt like high school. Thank you very much, Sarah Lou Woods. Felt like high school. because I walked in and everyone was in their little groups, and I wasn't part of any of those groups because I knew no one, and there was no one who looked like they wanted me in their group. So I felt like I was someone's weird big sister, and no one cared. No one knew. No one was there for me. So I did just hover by the sandwiches for a little bit. I got myself a cup of tea, and then I realised that there was 2 green rooms. There was the main green room, which had like gaming things in the corner. Clearly, by the fact that I've just called it a gaming thing, I have no interest in that corner of the room. There was some other bits and pieces to do with gaming and Kingdom Hearts. That was it. There was a Kingdom Hearts room. Then there was the green room with all the tables and everyone talking, and there was food and stuff. And then I went outside because I had nothing else to do because I knew no one there. And I realised that next door to this big green room, there was another green room that was apparently the spillover green room, just in case there were too many people in the main green room and they needed more space. This room had none of the gaming crap in it. And there was no one in there because everyone wanted the sandwiches and the gaming stuff. So I just got myself a cup of tea and a couple of sandwiches, and I went into the empty room and I sat in there for the entire day. The entire day. I went and did my meet and greets and my panels, and then I went and sat in the empty room on my own. Is what I did. And I had a great time. Like, that's not me complaining, me being like, oh, feel sorry for me because I was on my own. I had a really lovely time. I like being on my own. And because I'd just done my meet and greet as well, I was like, I need some time to go and sit in a room quietly in darkness for a while. And that's what I did. That was on the first day. And on the second day, I had my meet and greet at like 12 until 3. And then Jamie Moscato joined me and came and sang with me in the evening. But I had like 4 hours to kill. And so I dragged him into my green room and we just sat and chatted and caught up because I hadn't seen him for like a week. Because this was in the gap between the other palace and Haymarket. And so we just sat and had a chat for 4 hours in Carrie Hope Fletcher's green room. So, yeah, that was my experience of Summer in the City. And the thing is, it's really difficult to walk. This is going to sound like really, this is going to borderline on sounding arrogant, but it's kind of the truth of the situation in that when you're well known at something like a YouTube convention, it's impossible to just walk around and enjoy the convention and go and see the things that you want to see, because apparently there was a body shop like thing that I would have loved to have gone to see, but the only way I would have got there is if security escorted me, and no one wants to be that arsehole. So I was like, I'm good, I'll just visit a body shop on my high street instead. Thanks though. So yeah, the magic of YouTube conventions has kind of disappeared for me, because I can meet people other places, like book tours and stage door and that kind of thing, and I can meet them sort of on, not like all at once, you know what I mean? Like I can meet them in chunks instead of doing like, hey, here's 1,000 people that you need to meet in 4 hours. Have a lovely time. So, and everything that comes along with YouTube conventions, they're kind of the reasons that they're not the reasons that I'm there. So yeah. And I always get asked to sing at YouTube conventions, and I never want to because I hate it. And then I feel bad saying no. It's just, my ears have gone so red. Look at my ears. Why have my ears gone that red? Well, that one's fine. Why is it just that one? Why has my ear gone so red? Am I okay? Am I alright? Look at my ear! Why has my ear gone like that? I'm a bit worried. What's happening? Thank you, Joshua P, who's very kindly given me bars whilst I'm freaking out about my ear. Why is my ear like that? Am I alright? It's hot. What does this mean? My ear's really hot. I don't know what's happening. But my hair looks good like this. Ooh. Don't like that. Don't know what's happening. And now I'm warm. I think it's the gin. I'm not having that gin again. My God. I've gone hot. I think it's because I was saying things and worried that people were going to judge me for the things that I was saying. So I was getting like, oh, don't hate me. I was getting that feeling. I'm worried about my ear. Why has my ear gone funny? It's really warm. Oh, hang on. There we go. Cold gin glass to the ear. That works, right? Oh, it's very strange. It's a very strange feeling going on in my ear. Did I ever almost miss my cue in Heathers? I almost missed... I mean, the thing is with the Veronica is that I never heard any of my cues, like, on the tannoy because I was always on stage. Like, Veronica never gets a chance to leave the stage, and there's no point at which I could miss a cue. Saying that, I did almost... I did keep everyone waiting one day for the beginning of Act 2 because the tannoys were playing. To be fair, this wasn't entirely my fault because the tannoy system, the speaker system in Haymarket, every now and again glitched out, and so we'd all be sat in our dressing rooms, and poor Izzy downstairs would be like calling us to the stage, and the tannoys would just decide today it wasn't going to play it. So sometimes we missed the calls. And this one particular day, I missed the Act 2 beginner's call because my tannoy decided not to play it to me. And it was just because I heard... Because, like, there's, like, two different channels. There's, like, the channel that just plays what's going on in the theatre, and then there's, the channel that plays the calls. And it was that one that was broken, so I could hear what was going on in the theatre, and I could hear the playlist being played. And it was only because I was like, I definitely know that this is the song that Jamie and I sing to before the beginning of Act 2, and I'm definitely supposed to be downstairs. So I ran downstairs and got told off, because I was supposed to be there and I wasn't. Whoops. Ready means I'm sleepy, is that what it means? Don't know. It means I'm sleepy or my ear's going to fall off. I wasn't that late. I was only like half a song late. As in, like, the act hadn't started. And by song, I mean it's this, like, the playlist that plays before the act. Because I start Act 2. So if I wasn't there, they weren't going to start Act 2. This is the Honeybee Gin by Warner Edwards. I was never that sold on it. I much prefer... I can't speak. I was going to say prefer the rhubarb gin, but I went to say prefer. The rhubarb gin, which Ollie got me a bottle of for Christmas. The Parma Violet Gin is the best gin ever by Whitley Neal. Oh my god, it's the best. And I have the rhubarb and ginger gin as well. That's amazing. Whitley Neal and Warner Edwards are the gin gods. They are my faves. Thank you, Sally C. I got the Parma Violet gin from Tesco. Just checking me Insta. haven't decided how I'm going to decorate my new house. I've got some ideas. I think I just need to get in there and have a look and get a vibe for the place. And I need to buy all the furniture as well, which takes forever to come, so I'm probably going to be sat on the floor for quite a while. I get the keys on the 18th of January, but I'll probably move everything in on the 19th. There you go, the Shine a Light books are on Amazon. Glad you found them. I don't know Amy Ross. Like, I've met her a couple times, but I don't know her. But she's amazing. Sorry, marmalade gin? Are you joking? Need to try that immediately. Oh yeah, red ear apparently is due to embarrassment. So yeah, it probably is me telling that story. Oh, my ear's cooled down, but it's still red. So yeah, it's probably me just panicking about telling you my Summer in the City story. Dear. I'd love to play Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde. That's such a good musical. How about a dance? Let's make a start. Such a good musical. I haven't seen 6, but I'd like to see 6. I was invited to the opening of it last time, but couldn't make it because of Heather's. What non-musical theatre music are you listening to at the moment? That's a very good question. None. I'm terrible. Like, if it's not a musical, I'm probably not listening to it. I really like Superfruit. Thank you, Ciara Hickey. I'm really sorry if I'm saying that wrong. There's so much in the West End that I want to go and see, or just shows that I want to go see. I'm really excited to see Kiss Me Kate because I've never seen it before. I know nothing about it, so I'm really excited to see that. Yeah, there's so much I want to see. I want to see Everybody's Talking About Jamie. I need to see Book of Mormon. I've still not seen Book of Mormon. I want to see Harry Potter again. I really want to see The Inheritance. Oh my god, there's so much. I want to start blogging more this year. I know. It's one of those things where I'm like, I want to start blogging more. And then I either forget about it or get busy and don't do it. But if I were to blog more, I'm going to write one before I go to bed tonight. What would you like to see on my blog? For those of you that don't know, my blog is just carriehopefletcher.com, which used to be my Tumblr, but I switched it over. I need to see both Company and Hadestown because I know people in both, so I need to go see them. Something I was thinking about. Sorry got distracted then by one of the questions. I was trying to figure it out. Something I was thinking about writing a blog about is when, oh my God, people message me and say, my parents say that being an actor isn't a stable job. What should I do? Or like, what do you think about that? And yeah, I wanted to write a blog about that because your parents are right. First of all, your parents are correct. Acting is not a stable job. Unless you're Pat Lipone, but no one can guarantee that you're going to be Pat Lipone. It's not a stable job. It's not even a stable job for me or for like the people that you would like, even Noble Zada or Samantha Barks, or you know, people who you would regard as like I don't know, quite high up in like the musical theatre ranks, like people that seem to be working all the time. You know what I mean? Why is someone just spamming me with my ex-boyfriend's name? That seems very strange. Yeah, like nothing's ever guaranteed, and it's really terrifying. Because even now, I'm like, there are some things in the pipeline, but they're not solid, and the chance of them happening, I don't even know what the chance of them happening is. I'm a little bit terrified that they won't happen, and then I spend the rest of the year not working. And considering I've just bought a house, I kind of need to pay my bills. So I'm like, the fear's starting to set in a little bit. So it's never stable, because you never know, like once one job ends, you never know what's going to happen next. There's no security of like, right, I have a job now and I can have this job for as long as I want it, as long as I don't get fired or I quit. You know what I mean? Like, you sign up for a year, and then once that year has ended, the show might close. The show might close before the year has ended. Or your contract might not be renewed. Even if you want to stay, they might not want you to stay, in which case they won't ask you to stay, in which case you've then got to go and start auditioning again. It's terrifying. So it's one of those things where I'm like, your parents are correct. It is not a stable job. So if you want to have a backup, and please your parents just by having a backup, but also have a backup because it's not a stable job, and there might come a time where you need to do something else in order to earn an income whilst you're still working on trying to break into the industry. Or I say that, like trying to break into the industry. The amount of actors who are in the industry, who I was in Heathers with, have to do singing lessons, like teach singing lessons, or have to do workshops, or have to be personal trainers, or professional masseuses, you know what I mean? They have to do jobs on the side because they can't afford to just be actors. Like when I was in Heathers at the other Palace, which, because it wasn't the West End, it had a different weekly wage to a West End job. I was, half of my wage in itself was just getting, I spent just getting to the theatre every day. Half of my weekly wage went on travel. And then the other half didn't even cover a quarter of my mortgage. So if I wasn't writing books and doing YouTube, I would have had to have had another job in order to sustain myself whilst in Heathers at the other Palace. And I love it when people assume that you're in the West End. They're like, oh, you're rich. I got asked the other day, someone said to me, oh, all my friends think you're rich. And I told them that you probably are. And I was like, I mean, I wish that were true. I wish that were true. I'm doing okay. I'm doing well for a 26-year-old in this climate. I'm doing well for myself. I'm not gonna deny that. But that's because I have 3 jobs. I have 3 jobs, and I'm like doing quite well in all 3 jobs. So I'm in a very lucky, privileged position. But I work with people every day who are like, I can't afford to be an actor. And they're in the West End. Like, I can't afford to be an actor. Honestly, it's crazy. And it's amazing to see what people think and how they perceive the industry and actors in the industry. Like, I remember, this was years ago as well. This was when I was in Les Mis, and it was like my first year of Les Mis. And I was stood on the train station at Baker Street waiting for my train home. And there was a couple, and they came up to me and they were like, oh my God, we just watched you in Les Mis. And I was like, oh, hi, how are you? And they were like, what are you doing here? I was like, what do you mean? They're like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm doing what you're doing here. I'm getting my train home, babe. And she was like, but don't you have like a car or like a private car that takes you home? And I was like, what? No. Why? No. Why would I have a private car? I can't afford a private car. I can barely afford groceries at the moment, babe. I was like, no, I don't have a private car home. I wish I did. But she was like, the 2 of them were like so confused as to why actors didn't get cars home after the show every night. Or, like, why producers or directors or whoever, like the companies, didn't pay for everyone just to get home after the show. And I was like, I'm on the tube. I'm getting my train home. That's how we all get home. Ollie used to ride his scooter home from Addams Family rehearsals. Oh, he fell off one night. You should ask him about that at some point. He came in the next day with a massive chunk out of his palm because he fell off of his scooter on the way home. Oh, so good. What was my point? I had a point. My point was that when people tell me that their parents say that acting isn't a stable job and I need to convince their parents otherwise, I'm like, sorry, I'm kind of with your parents on this one. Take it from someone who's in the industry and has been in the industry as an adult for 6 years now. It's not a stable career. That's not to say don't do it. I'm just saying you've got to be prepared for a lot of rejection and a lot of fear and a lot of insecurity financially and emotionally. But if you're prepared for that because you love it so much, like every actor in the West End does, thank you, Zacharias F, thank you, then go for it. But it's not a stable job. And be prepared to have to get another job in order to pay for your acting habit. Oh my god, the questions are going too fast. Any Heathers fails or line fluffs? I don't think... Oh, I never, like, forgot a line or... said something I wasn't supposed to, but I did trip over my words sometimes, and it was like I was short-circuiting. It was like, when a record gets stuck on the same bit, on the line, the worst one, when I almost lost it, and it was at a terrible moment as well, where I was like, I cannot laugh right now. It was, when I'm having a go at Martha in the second act, when I'm, what do I say? Yeah, the Heathers put me up to it. The whole school was in on the joke and nobody laughed harder than Ram. And I went, he didn't love you. I couldn't get it out. I don't know why. Was that it? Oh no, it wasn't that bit. It was the same moment, but it was Ram didn't write that love note. I just couldn't get the word love out. Terrible. It was so bad. And I was looking right in Jenny O'Leary's eyes as well, who played Martha. Ram didn't write that love note. Awful. And I had another one on it's the first line in there. Actually, Miss Fleming, all four of us are out on a hall pass. Couldn't get the word four out. To me, they feel that bad. They probably weren't that bad in the show, but for me, it felt like I was stuttering over the word for about 50 minutes. And Gel Bar will always go down in history. That wasn't one of mine, it was Jamie Moscato. When he said she was reading the Gel Bar. The bell jar. The thing is, it didn't register on his face that he'd said something wrong. He just corrected himself. It was amazing. It was so good. It was on my birthday as well. And on my birthday as well, the same show, Nathan Amzai, who played Ram's dad, he's supposed to sing, and I'm talking you and me in the summer of 83. He's supposed to say that, but he went, and I'm talking me and you in the summer of 82, which just changed the year. It was so good. So good. I love it. I love stuff like that. Oh god, yawning. God. Yeah, I love an anxiety dream about things that are gonna go wrong. I had, the day that I found out about Truly Scrumptious, when I got Truly, I went to bed that night and had an anxiety dream that I got to the first show. Like, I had no rehearsals and just turned up, and they were like, right, you're on tonight. I was like, great. They were like, so you'll be stood over here and Truly will stood over there. And I was like, but I'm can't speak, but I'm playing Truly. And they were like, no, you're playing Jemima, because we thought that, you played it when you were a kid, so you'd know the part already, so off you go, see you later. Push me on stage. And I just had to try and remember all of Jemima Potts' lines and choreography from when I did it when I was like 9 years old. So that was my first anxiety dream. And then the other one was with Addams Family, where I just dreamt that I went on for Crazier Than You and no one could find my crossbow, which is like the pivotal point of Crazier Than You. So yeah. You don't get told off for changing lines like what happened with Gel Bar and Summer of 82, because they were mistakes. Like, it wasn't like someone went on and was like, oh yeah, I'm going to say this today because it'll be well funny. It was an accident, so you don't really get told off. You just need to not repeat the mistake again. No, I wasn't really expecting the transfer. Not that quickly. We were told that if Heathers was going to transfer, it wouldn't be until 2019, February 2019. Because that was like, I think that was the theatre that they were looking at. That was only when it was available or something like that. And then all of a sudden I got pulled to the side one evening. I think I may have said this somewhere before. The stage manager came into my room and was like, Andy wants a word. Oliver. She's like, Andy wants a word. And I was like, why? And she was like, oh, he didn't say. And I was like, oh my God, I'm being fired. I'm being fired. This is it. I'm being fired. I'm being fired. I'm out of a job. They hate me. That's it. And I got pulled into the room, and then there was Paul Taylor Mills, who was my producer, as well, sat there, and I was like, oh my God, I'm being fired. I'm actually being fired. And I was like literally prepared for being fired. So Andy, who's like the best director in the world, Andy Fickman, he pretended that he was firing me at first. And I started to get really panicked. And then he was like, no, I'm kidding. And I was like, oh my God. Thank God for that. And yeah, and then he said that we were going to Haymarket in like a month from the time that he told me. And I was like, oh, okay, that's quick. That's really quick. Amazing. Oh my God, the questions go too fast. I didn't go through those friend requests today, and I don't think I ever will. I'll probably go through like a few a day. I can't be asked to sit there for that long. Okay, I'm going to go in a few minutes because I've been here for ages. My glasses are, the brand is Silhouette. Oh my God, they're filthy. Hang on, where's a little thing? They're nice, these. They're like, you can see like the brown mottled frames. Oh my God. Go and do your homework. Mads Harrison, I think it said. Yeah, I do miss Heather's. I miss her a lot. Oh, there we go. I read like half a question and then it disappears. Last date I went on with Oliver. I mean, we've been going out for so long now that I don't really call them dates anymore. We went out on New Year's Day together. We went and had lunch and then we had dinner together. And we watched Bird Box together, which was really nice. Like, we all like snuggled up and we ate popcorn and M&Ms and watched Bird Box, which was lovely. I was thinking about going to see the Panto one more time this week, but I just don't think I've got time. I really liked Bird Box. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I have passed my driving test, but I haven't driven since I was 17, since I passed my driving test. Passed first time, 1 minor. Thank you very much. But that's only because I had like 60 lessons because I was crap. Driving stresses me out. Stresses me out. What's that behind? Don't say that. What's that behind me? What's what behind me? Don't do that. It's my piles of crap from packing. That's all it is. You freak me out now. I feel like there's something behind me. What have you done? Terrible people. I will hurt you, Megan Noon 13, telling me it's a ghost. I will hurt you. I'm kidding, I won't, but... Right, okay, I'm going to have to go because you guys are freaking me out. You guys are freaking me out. You need to stop. You need to stop. Because you need to stop. Shh. 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 Don't you get the salt? Because I literally just finished the salt, making myself spaghetti bolognese. Oh no. Did I keep anything from Heather's? Yeah, I kept my mallet, my blue mallet, because we broke so many of them. No, correction, Jamie broke so many of them because it was his job to like throw the mallet halfway through the fight, and he used to throw it with such force every night that it used to hit the stairs or the door or something, and so many of them just broke clean in half. So we had a blue mallet graveyard, so I was allowed to keep one of those. But I looked at it the other day and I was like, why is it covered in barbecue sauce? And then I remembered that after my final show, Oliver and I went to McDonald's, and I left him outside and got in. There was a queue for McDonald's, hilariously. It's the one in Leicester Square. It's really busy all the time. So I got in the queue for McDonald's, and as I looked back over, Oliver is lining up rubbish that people have dropped outside the bin, and he's malleting it into the bin. So he must have hit some kind of ketchup or barbecue sauce pot at some point, because it's covered in barbecue sauce. So thank you, Oliver, for that. Okay, 2 more questions and then I'm going. I didn't really keep anything from War of the World. Can't speak. What's wrong with me? War of the Worlds. I kept my boots again because they were mine anyway, because I got to keep them from the last tour. So I was like, can I have my boots back again, please? Because so I got given the boots after the tour, and then when I got back into War of the Worlds again, they asked me to bring the boots back so I could wear them again. But yeah, then afterwards I was like, can I have my boots again, please? Thank you. I know my ear's still red. I don't know why. Hot air. People should try to freak me out. You need to stop. Don't like it. I'd love to play Catherine and Newsies, but I don't know if my tap's good enough. Tap's the strongest of my dancing, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing if someone just goes, okay, tap now. But if someone taught me a tap routine, I'd be absolutely fine. Yeah, the Beth illusion kind of broke like 2 shows in. I think it was 1 show in. I think it worked once in the entire tour, and it got to a point where they were just like, just scrap it, because it's stressful every night wondering whether it's going to work or not. Everyone was a bit like waiting to see if it was going to work or not, so we ended up just leaving it, which was a shame because it was a cool illusion. Right, okay, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a lovely time. Sorry that my internet dropped out halfway through. I'm really hoping that the first part of this live stream saved on my YouTube. I hope it has. Anyway. Oh, a hiccup, sorry. Thank you so much for joining me. Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye.